So I made a meme and I may have offended some people. Hey cryptic creatures, welcome back to the crypt. In this video, I'm going to be addressing a meme that I made recently. I'm going to be dissecting it, talking about its origins, and talking about what inspired me to make this meme. There's also going to be a bit of an apology in here. So this meme, honestly, addressing this meme has sparked a 4-part series. This video, my experience growing up in the goth scene in the early 2000s, goth as a genre, and once again, addressing the issue of goth as a subculture versus goth as a hashtag. Is it a can of worms that's been opened one too many times? Probably. But we're going to revisit it because it's still being brought up and is still an issue today. If you've been part of the goth scene, especially the online goth scene for a long time, and you stumble across this video, you might be thinking to yourself,
who's this cunt?
But that just goes to show you that the goth scene is vast, that there are goths spread out throughout the world, in different parts of the world and different scenes, and they're not always connected. Okay, so first let's take a look at the meme itself. So the meme is taken from a scene from the cartoon called Rugrats. Rugrats was a cartoon that ran in the 90s, so I grew up watching it, where it follows a group of babies around on their adventures. Of course, the adults in the babies' lives do make appearances, and one of the adults was the grandpa, or Grandpa Pickles, who was the main character Tommy's grandpa. I'm not gonna lie, Grandpa Pickles was an awesome character. I always loved his character when I was a kid, but he did have this one line that he would say constantly on the show, and that was 15 miles in the snow.
Walk 15 miles in the snow?
And it didn't matter what you were talking about. If you were talking about going to work, you had to walk 15 miles in the snow to get to work. If you were going trick-or-treating, you had to walk 15 miles in the snow to get to the next house.
Why, in my day, a youngster knew how to run a snack bar, and he'd walk 15 miles through the snow to get there, too. Why, in my day, we had to walk...
How many miles, Pop?
15 miles to school, for your information, in the snow, with no shoes. When I was a spud, me and my brother Sparky used to go trick-or-treating door to door. Of course, in those days, it was 15 miles to the next house, and those were real tricks, and real ghosts, mind you.
So when I created this meme, my meme was, back in my day, you had to walk 15 miles in the snow to find a new goth band. That was real goth. So while this line is comedic, it's possible that it could come across as ageist. It's very possible that this portrayal of Grandpa Pickles may have some elements of ageism in it. Now that said, it really got me thinking. Now the reason I thought I may have offended some people, like literally all of 22 people may have seen this meme. It's not like I have a huge following on Instagram. But I lost a couple of subscribers after I posted this meme. Was it related to the meme? I don't know, because I also get a lot of people who try to do that sub for sub thing or follow for follow thing, where they follow you just so you'll follow them back and then unfollow you. That's what they're trying to do. So that said, it could have been some of those accounts, or it could have been people who saw that meme I made and it offended them, or they disagreed with it. So it made me think, like, is this ageist? Is this offensive, right? Now I think the thing about Grandpa Pickles and like the whole meme in general, it's not really about age, it's about a mindset. So I think that's the thing, and that's what set me off and inspired me to create this meme in the first place. So it's not about age. Like, there are so many elder goths who are awesome, and I love the content that they put out. But you have some people who just have this very closed mindset, and I'm gonna get into that a little bit more. But for me, I think that's what Grandpa Pickles represents. It's not because he's older or because he's an elder. It's because he has this mentality that, number one, he doesn't accept that things change or things have changed. Number two, he's always talking about how things were better back in his day. And you know what? Maybe that was his opinion, and maybe that is the opinion of some people, that things were better back in the day. Perfectly fine to have that opinion. However, when it's projected aggressively and in a way that's filled with bitterness onto other people, that's kind of when I have a problem with it. And the final point is he's upset that things are easier now. And again, it's laced with bitterness. And that again is the problem. It's not because he's an elder, it's because of these three things that I just mentioned. And you don't even have to be an elder to have this mindset. The person who set me off to make this meme was in their 40s. And it's not anyone who I'm friends with. It's not anyone who I'm in community with. It's a YouTuber who has over 50,000 subscribers. I'm not gonna say names because I'm not trying to start like drama, but they posted a video recently that just really got on my nerves because it was filled with these qualities. Can't accept that things have changed, going on about how things used to be better back in the day, and just filled with bitterness about how easy things are now or just about how things are now. Now this is where that whole can of worms is going to come in a future video. I'm not going to address it in this video because it would be incredibly long, but there are a lot of goths out there who make a good point about goth being a specific subculture related to the music and how now it's a hashtag and a label used to identify people who dress in a certain style. And I get the frustration around that, but what really annoys me is like, it's been like this since the freaking 90s. It's been like this since I was a literal child. Like, to keep going on and beating this drum, to me, I personally just find it incredibly annoying. And I think the reason I find it annoying is because where we could be building stronger connection with people and inviting people in, instead we are, you know, being venomous and being bitter. It's just the bitterness that bothers me, to be honest. I think the main reason why the bitterness annoys me is because life is short. It's too short to be hung up on these little things that in the grand scheme of things don't matter. It's not like goths are an oppressed group of people. You know what I mean? It's just fun and fashion and music. And yes, it stands for a lot more. But at the end of the day, building connection is what matters, right? So enjoy life while you can because life is short. There are so many goths out there, again, who serve as the opposite and good example. Delia LaFay, for example, is an amazing example of a goth who creates content about all different aspects of goth, and she does an amazing job of highlighting musical artists within her content. And so for anyone who's looking for goth, they're gonna find goth music through her just inherently because she does an amazing job of sharing. Jess In King is another creator who does an amazing job of consistently sharing goth bands. Admittedly, I could do a better job of that. But that said, I think that's so much more helpful than people who rant and rave and go on in their bitterness about how things aren't the way that they wish that they are. It's like they haven't been since the 90s, okay? Mainstream media claimed the word goth to represent a certain type of aesthetic, and it's been like that for over 30 years, you know? And so I don't think people are gonna stop using the goth hashtag no matter how many videos people make about it. I'm gonna go more into depth about this in my future video, but I just wanted to highlight, like, this is what really has set me off and what inspired me to create this Grandpa Pickles meme. So for anyone out there who saw my meme who may have been offended by it, I do sincerely apologize. I mean, if you're offended by it in the sense that it came off as ageist, that was not the intention or the meaning behind it at all. It was just addressing a certain mindset of being closed-minded, not being able to accept that things change and evolve, and being very bitter. That is what the meme was related to. It wasn't about age, because I have a ton of respect for elder goths who are open-minded and who, you know, share what it was like back in the day in a way that's more historical and fun rather than bitter, if that makes sense. But I am not sorry for being annoyed by people who repeatedly express an outdated, bitter, closed mindset. I'm not sorry for being annoyed by that. But that is a very small percentage of people. This is not a representation of elder goths at all. Most elder goths are awesome. So again, I apologize if the Grandpa Pickles meme came off as ageist or offended anyone in that way. This is really just addressing the people who have this bitter mindset that they're constantly sharing and constantly regurgitating, and it's just annoying. Maybe I shouldn't be as annoyed by that content as I am. I've made a decision I'm not gonna give that YouTuber any more chances because I've tried to like them and I just don't like them. And that's fine, you know, everyone's not gonna like everyone. And I'm sure that they're a great, fine person, but just the content they make, the bitter perspective they're constantly sharing, it's just annoying to me. And so I'm not gonna watch that creator anymore. Again, it's none of you who are my friends on YouTube, but I did just want to come on here and address it. And it's also opened a can of worms for a short mini series that I'll be creating in the future. So let me know what you think. It's okay to disagree. Let's just be respectful of each other's opinions, or let's be respectful of each other. But it's definitely okay to disagree and have discourse. But at the end of the day, I just feel like things change, things evolve, like that's just the way life is. And to be bitter about things isn't really helping anyone. That's my opinion, but let me know what you think in the comments below. Sending you all love, enjoy life, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. Take care of yourselves because it is the most important thing. See you in the next video.